The more I talk about marketing, I talk with authors and I write about it, the more I go back to the importance of the product itself. There's a ton of information out there on a bunch of different avenues and tactics you can try. And invariably, any tactic becomes so much easier when you have a really good book that's written for a specific target market and you're addressing that target market.
Ricardo, welcome back to this Dark Reflections podcast.
Thank you for having me again, Mark.
So it's been a while since we've touched base, but for people who are not familiar with you and with Reedsy, shame on them for not knowing. Can you just give us a little bit of a background on, well, first of all, who is Ricardo Fayet?
I think my image very much attached to Reedsy at this point because I didn't really have much of a background before that.
But you're an author. Come on, you've written books.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
As a result of working with Reedsy, I've written a couple of books, so I am officially an author now.
Yeah.
I forget to say that pretty often. But yeah, I think Reedsy started a little bit after Draft Digital, so around 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, the main idea of Reedsy has always been to provide services to indie authors, and more than that, to give access to a pool of talent that was previously reserved to traditional publishers. So like developmental editors, copy editors, cover designers, marketers, all these people who used to work in-house and who are now freelance. Created a marketplace where authors can come in and hire them, get quotes, etc. And yeah, that's been the core of Reedsy for the past 8 years, I think. We've built a lot of content around that, a lot of advice, free courses, things like that. But that's been always, I think, the core for value proposition to authors.
Which is quite amazing, because there's a few things that are quite remarkable about Reedsy is you don't just let anyone hang up a shingle, right? They have to apply. Right. They actually have to prove that they're good at what they do. So it's not just, hey, I can use Paint, Microsoft Paint, I can design a book cover, right? Like that kind of thing. But when you look at the quality of people on Reedsy, I've sent people to Reedsy to find editors and cover designers, for example, and there are more. But for those two, I've actually looked at in more detail. And there are people who've done books with the world's largest publishers. They've freelanced or used to work for and have done major. It's like, oh my God, you did that cover for this major author that I love. So it's a place to find quality content. It's not like you're going to Fiverr and anyone can just say, hey, for a few bucks, I'll do something for you. And it's kind of luck of the draw. With Reedsy, you're kind of already they basically have to apply to be listed there, right?
There's an application process. They have to fill in a profile. We verify the information on there, and we accept around between 3 to 5% of people who apply to be listed. So it's a very small number who make it through. And the reason for that is so that we can keep our existing talent, because if you have people who work for the biggest publishers and they charge certain rates, obviously, if they then suddenly have to compete with people who are just starting out, even if they're good and talented, they're not going to want to stay on the same marketplace. So we've gone for the kind of higher end of the market, real professionals with years, sometimes decades of experience. And you'll get what you pay for a lot of the time. So we're on the higher end of the market, but at least you're sure that you're hiring someone who's really, really good at what they do.
Yeah, and I remember this specifically because I remember releasing a novel. It was a Wattpad novel, and it was doing really, really well, but it was completely just first draft. And Wattpad wanted to feature it, so I rushed out and I hired an editor, really, really good price. And then I had to get another editor and pay more just to fix the mistakes that the first editor introduced. So again, it was kind of like, wow, it cost me almost twice as much, or probably more than twice as much, because I didn't do it the right way. Anyway, so that's kind of cool. The other thing I think a lot of people forget that Reedsy has is you were one of the first companies to put an online, a place where you can go online, put in your text, and create an ebook, right? Create an ebook right from an online platform. Is that still available for authors to use?
Yeah, very much so. We're going to be talking more about it, I think, in the coming months, because there's a lot more features that we'll add. But it's starting to pop up more and more, I think, especially on TikTok, after the whole Google Docs AI thing, people looking for alternatives to write on. And yeah, we've had this writing tool for several years now where you can import your existing document, you can write from scratch. It's a distraction-free environment. And then with just a few clicks, you can export it to EPUB and print-ready PDF.
That's fantastic, right? It's a free tool, just available for
it's a free
anyone.
tool.
Yeah. And I guess the goal of that is providing the free tools. You say, okay, once you're here, if you need an editor,
right,
you can leverage an editor on that. And I forgot. I probably knew this at one point, but I forgot. Is that a platform where you can collaborate with an editor, or do you have to export it and then do like the Word doc thing?
Very good question. So the plan is for the collaboration to happen in there. It's not ready yet.
Okay.
So right now, our recommendation would be to export as a Word document and then work with the editor and re-import. In the coming months, we want to add that collaboration feature. And that'll be really cool. We'll run a beta with a few of our editors who have expressed interest in the tool, see if, we've added chart changes, commenting, all of that. It's almost ready. But we want to make sure that editors like it first, because they've been used to Word for decades and it's really hard to change. So yeah, when we'll be ready, it'll be really cool.
Every editor I've worked with, it's Word. So even when I was using Scrivener for a while, export it and then do the Word document thing with it. So I just ended up just sticking to Word after a while, even though I thought Scrivener was a pretty sweet tool. But cool. Okay, so what a fantastic platform. But one of the reasons that I think we wanted to talk today, actually, let's go back because we said, I have a couple books out. Now, let's talk about the first book you put out, How to Market a Book.
Yeah.
How much does that cost? Like all the information you've taken in from understanding the industry and working in the industry for a decade, you must charge a lot of money for that book, right?
Good question. It's actually free, Mark.
Oh my goodness. So How to Market a Book, is it sort of like, because one thing authors really hate and are confused about is marketing. So you just kind of put it all into one simple volume, and it's free as an ebook on most ebook platforms. Yeah,
on all of them, I think. I use a service called Drop to Digital. I don't know if you're aware of.
Oh no, I've never heard of them. Yeah, I should check them out.
Really cool. Yeah, check them out. So it allows me to put it on all the major retailers and get Amazon to price match. So it's free everywhere as an ebook. It's also available as a paperback and hardback, not free because trees cost money.
They do. So that means people can request it from their local library if they want paperback or hardcover too, right?
That is true. It is in libraries. Thanks to Drop to Digital. Good point.
Good stuff. Awesome. So that was How to Market a Book, and that was the first edition. I remember you launched it. I remember you saying something like, well, I've been talking with writers and working with writers, but I'm not a writer, so I want to just get out there and provide something of value. What was the second book that you did?
The second one was on Amazon Ads for Authors, because I decided I'd put the first one as part of a series on Reedsy Guides to Marketing, so I had to write another one in there for it to be called a series.
Okay.
And I started writing about Facebook ads, but then progressively I played more with Amazon ads.
Yeah.
And I had more things to say about it. So yeah, second book released in January of this year. It's a much more niche topic, obviously. And it's a paid book because there's a lot of information on there that I haven't really made public outside of the book. And we also, the idea for us to have these books out there is it's another way for authors to come across Reedsy, to discover Reedsy.
Yeah.
So the How to Market a Book is quite visible on the free charts of the retailers, but we wanted to have a book that would be visible on the paid charts of the retailers as well. And so that was the idea for another book out there that's actually paid.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I think the other thing too is you do have free courses, and there's paid courses too online, and we're going to get to one of them soon. But one of the things I love about that is, I released the book Killing It on Kobo, and the good people at Reedsy, I did a free course with Reedsy, which was 10 really short, I think you could read them in 5-minute daily tips. and there's free courses, but some people don't like email or video or whatever the content it is, and that's why picking up a book might be another option for them, which is another reason why you may want to have the different. So we're giving you tips, dear authors, on the ways people like to consume things. It's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely. At the end of the
day,
there's like a bunch of different ways to make your information available out there. And as you say, people consume information in lots of different ways. So we had these free courses for years, but they're in an email format, and we've always wanted to kind of do a proper video course.
Awesome. So before we get to the video course, I just want to, because I want to tease it out a little bit, but what's one of the marketing suggestions potentially from your book, or when you give talks to authors, that you feel a lot of authors don't quite get, and it's just, maybe it's a basic thing that they don't understand, but you would just want to make sure, please, dear author, please listen to this?
Yeah, I find myself like, the more I talk about marketing, I talk with authors, and I write about it, the more I go back to the importance of the product itself. I feel like there's a ton of information out there on a bunch of different avenues and tactics you can try. And invariably, any tactic becomes so much easier when you have a really good book that's written for a specific target market and you're addressing that target market. Like, I think it's what everyone's been repeating for years. But as authors, we have this tendency to try to find the new golden channel, the new golden tactic, the new golden social media that's going to bring all this attention and visibility to our books, just because we don't really want to question our books, right? And we shouldn't, to a certain extent. They're written, so we're not going to go over them. But sometimes I feel we spend a lot of energy trying to find new things, or just going to be this new secret magic weapon, when probably the best thing we can do is like write the next book and really put a lot of effort into making the best possible book for the audience that we intended for. And everything becomes so much easier. Like, Facebook ads convert, Amazon ads convert, their cost is cheaper. The TikTok, suddenly you don't have to spend hours doing TikTok. It's like actual readers doing the TikToks for you, and those go viral, etc. So
yeah,
I feel like, for me, everything, it's not all about the product, but it is 90% about the product. And a lot of time we spend 90% of our time, marketing time, thinking about other things than the product.
Well, you think about that. It's that magic that happens when somebody reads a book and is so enthralled with it that they tell everyone, oh my God,
Exactly.
you've got to read. It's kind of like you go to a pizza place, a great place we've been to together in Vegas, for example. I tell everyone about that pizza place. You should have seen the Meat Lovers pizza. Like it was just amazing. As opposed to, you had a humdrum slice for $1 somewhere and you're like, yeah, whatever, it's forgettable pizza. But
right.
That's the experience that you want, because those are the people who I mean, Colleen Hoover was already huge, but those are the people who took her to that next level, because
Absolutely.
they loved her books so much. Okay, all right. So that, my friend, was just a perfect segue that we honestly did not plan ahead of time, because I had no idea what marketing advice you were going to give. But how does somebody write a novel? Is there something that's being launched very soon in terms of a video course that might be useful to those who have always wanted to just get her done?
You're really asking the perfect questions today, Mark. Absolutely. We are launching a video course on how to write a novel. Okay. That's the main thing we've been working on for the past year. We actually hired the instructor for the course full-time as a Reedsian. He put together the course. We spent quite a lot of time and money shooting it. And the idea is to get people to write a really good first draft of their novel in 3 months. So it's designed over a period of 3 months. It's by cohort. So if the next cohort starts on September 18th, for example,
okay.
So you would sign up for that cohort. It would start on that day. It would run for 3 months. Every day you would get a video from our instructor, Tom. Every day, yeah, a short video, like a short 10 to 20 minutes video on a specific aspect of writing craft.
Okay.
With suggested reading. The real cool thing about the video is that they take examples from existing books out there. So it's very much like the learning to write by reading approach.
Yeah.
And then you have a few writing exercises. And the main thing that the videos are designed for is to motivate you to write every day. Then there's a community. You get access to a writing tool where you can track your progress. You can set your writing goals. You can share that progress, etc. And yeah, the idea is that by the third month, you have actually finished a really good first draft. And we've got a beta cohort running right now that we started in July. And I think most of the students in there are on course to finish that novel. So that's pretty cool. We're really happy about that.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, because so you've tested it out and gotten feedback and made adjustments, obviously based on that beta cohort. That's fantastic. So just to remind people that we're recording this on the 5th of September, 2023. In case, hello future, if you're listening from the future, and this will be September 18th, 2023 is the first cohort. So if you're listening to this after that, you maybe can get into the other ones, but there's still time, right? There's still spaces for
there's still spaces for the September cohort. The next one will be October 30th. So we'll time it for NaNoWriMo so that you can actually start writing your novel during NaNoWriMo, and we'll do something together. And next one will be in January, I think, for all these New Year resolutions.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. So this one overlaps with NaNoWriMo, which is perfect, and then you got New Year's. So that's great, and then all that I love that how that. And there's a great trailer. I'll have a link to the trailer at starkreflections.ca. Tell us a little bit more about the instructor. And wait, you call them a Reedsian. That's people who actually work for Reedsy. That's the
absolutely.
Nickname, right?
It's not. They're not extraterrestrial beings. They are people who work at Reedsy.
Okay.
And we've dubbed them Reedsians. Yes. So Tom Bromley is an author, a ghostwriter, a best-selling ghostwriter. Obviously, he cannot divulge which of his titles.
Hence the ghostwriter.
Well, but there's some pretty famous ones in there. And an editor. He was an editor and a publisher at Big Five Publisher. Then started his own publishing company. So he's worked across kind of all the different roles in the industry, a little bit like you.
Right.
And then he's always been teaching, mostly in the UK, both in universities and also at Faber Academy, which is one of the most, I think, prestigious writing academies in the UK. And yeah, he was really keen to start something new with us. And so he designed the course and we put it together with him. And yeah, we're really excited about it. It's like so far the feedback's been really good. He's got a very nice, soothing British accent. So the videos are actually very relaxing. And very much focused on, I think there's like 3 to 4 examples from books in every single video. So it's very much focused on like 3-4 minutes of explaining the concept and then illustrating it in a bunch of different ways so that you can really take inspiration and start writing right away.
Oh, I love that. And based on the trailer as well, and you think sometimes somebody who works in the book industry and a writer and editor and stuff like that may not come across well on camera. The dude's got some charisma, right? It's an enjoyable video. You're like, oh, cool. This is going to be a fun course. I'm going to not only learn, but it's going to be a pleasurable experience, not just blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some blood and some sweat and maybe some tears.
There is. You can't write a novel without that. But yeah, no, the trailer was a particularly fun part of the shooting experience, I think. And yeah, I encourage everyone to check it out just to see, just to imagine the state of like the kitchen after they were done shooting.
So I see that you can try it out. There's like the first video or something that is free, I think.
Yeah, that's it. So if you sign up, so the URL is reedsy.com/learning. And there you can check out the trailer, the course, etc. And if you sign up, create a free account, you'll get access to the first two, not the first video, but to one lesson of the course for free, so that you can check out what the lessons look like, what you'll learn in a typical lesson and a typical day. Check out a little bit more about the course, the instructor, and then you can enroll, choose your next cohort and enroll. The course of the price is $1,000. So that's the launch price right now. It'll probably go up after the September cohort.
Right.
So if you enroll right now to any of the upcoming cohorts, it's $1,000. After September 18, they'll probably go up.
Okay.
And yeah, when you enroll, you're not charged right away. You're charged when the course begins.
Oh, okay. So you can secure your spot, and then
exactly
January, for example. Okay.
You can
for those who have New Year's resolutions, that they start planning them out in the fall.
we actually have around 10 or 15 students already signed up for January, which was really surprising to me. I'm like,
wow,
well done.
Well, they're
really
planning ahead.
this.
I love that. Yes. Well, and that's, indie authors tend to be, okay, the book's ready, let's just publish it.
Exactly.
Plan ahead. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So that's cool. And yeah, when you enroll, so you get access to what we call the prep lessons, which are all about how to get ready to start writing. So how to plan, your plot, how to think about your protagonist, the place, etc.
Okay.
What Tom calls the 5 Ps of writing. So as soon as you enroll, even if the course only starts, in the future, you get access to these 5 videos and writing exercises to help you really plan. So we always recommend enrolling at least a week in advance of the start date, so that you have time to really properly work on those prep lessons.
I love that, because it's kind of like, okay, thinking about getting ready for school, you kind of warm into it, you get used to the process, and just potentially plan out how you're gonna do it, right? Because how are you gonna take care of this while you're working full time, or balancing your personal responsibilities and all of that stuff? That's so I have to ask you this question. You've obviously been involved in the production, so have had a lot of exposure to Tom's teachings and stuff like that. So you've written a couple books, but those are nonfiction books. Have you ever wanted to write a novel? And I guess it leads to how's working on this maybe inspired you?
No, that's a really good question. I've tried writing fiction in the past. Like, I think every year around NaNoWriMo, I'm like, yeah, I'll try it this year. And then 20 Books Vegas comes around and messes up with all those plans.
You're really good for the first 2 weeks of November, right?
Exactly. It goes really well until that happens. So yeah, I'm thinking that at some point, probably once conference season is over, so maybe the January cohort, who knows?
Yeah.
I'll take the course and try to write a fiction novel. Yeah.
That would be a great third book in your series, is how I wrote a fiction novel, taking that very meta experience.
Very meta. I'm not sure if it'll fit into the Reedsy guides to marketing, but we can find a way.
I'm sure there'll be something. Oh my God, this is so fantastic. So this is a course over 3 months, cohort, virtual, and it's kind of, even though you get stuff on a daily basis, is it something that, so for example, let's say my work schedule is too busy and I can only get to it on like Saturday and Sunday. Is that something that I could potentially just, like, it's not like I have to do it every single day. I can batch it, right?
No, absolutely. So I said you get like lessons every day. They're daily lessons, but you unlock them 1 week at a time. So on Monday, you unlock all the videos for the week. So if you have a lot of time and you're super eager, you can go through all of them, in 2-3 days. Otherwise, you can pace yourself, or you can wait for the weekend. And then usually on Saturday, we do a guest webinar, like a live webinar with a guest author.
Oh, wow.
And Sunday is a writing day. So no videos, you just like write or rest or relax, or whatever you want to do on the Sunday.
Oh, that's cool. I love that flexibility, because you kind of like, hey, I want to get ahead of myself because I know I'm going to be
That's right.
Be at 20 Books Vegas next week, and I'm not going to get any work done because I'm going to be, doing panels and networking, socializing, going to the great pizza place in the Arts District, by the way. What was the name of it? It was called Good Pie. Is that what it was called?
I don't remember. But we'll
put
have
a
to go
link
again
to
this
that
week.
pizza place in the show notes over at starkreflections.ca, just in case. You want to
just
check
in
out the
case.
best pizza in Vegas. Anyways, sorry. All right. So you got this course coming up. Obviously, you said there's some improvements and updates and announcements you'll be making probably in the new year. I mean,
Yeah,
10 going on 10, well, no more than 10 years or close to 10 years. What? So when did?
close to 10 years. Yeah, I think we're starting 2014. So it's going to be our
Oh,
10th year next year.
so 10th anniversary, you're just still iterating, still growing, still adding new things. What are some of the things I want to kind of go back to? What are some of the things that surprised you? So, almost 10 years ago, you and a partner, and I'm trying, I always forget his name, and shame on me.
Emmanuel,
Yeah.
Matt, and Vincent. We're actually four.
Oh, there's four of us, but then I think it was only you and Emmanuel who were. Now you've become the face of Reedsy at a lot of events I'm at.
Yeah.
And I think Emmanuel's another person that I've spoken to a few times over the years.
Yeah.
But you seem to be the one willing to do all the travel or interested in doing all the travel.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
And the rest of the partners are behind the scenes working on all the stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you need some people actually working on the stuff while you're traveling.
Of course, yeah, because he's like, hey, I'm just connecting with the people. So I understand that. I understand that, playing a similar role. There's the people who are doing all the stuff behind the scenes, and
Exactly.
you're out there getting feedback from the community. But when you guys were creating Reedsy, it was like, hey, I think the industry needs this. What are some of the things that maybe have surprised you about the what the services you offer and the way people use them?
I think the kindness of the industry. Probably, I think we didn't know the publishing industry that well before we started Reedsy, so we spent a year researching it, and a lot of people were super happy to talk to us about the idea, even when it wasn't fully fledged. Everyone was pretty supportive, and we had to overcome, in the beginning, these questions around, like, we're one of the first companies to provide services that wasn't, trying to scam people. So there were a lot of questions raised at the time around providing services around editorial design, etc.
Yeah.
But once we overcame that, I think meeting all these people at conferences, talking to authors, we just happened to find ourselves in a super, super supportive creative industry. And yeah, to which we owe being able to, have existed for 9 years and been doing pretty well.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I don't think I ever shared this with you, but when I was working at Kobo, when I'd launched Kobo Writing Life, I had a consultant from Japan, from Rakuten, from that head office, come in and spend a week with me and my team just to learn. Because again, learn about the publishing, like, what is this part of the business? Because it was not, they acquired Kobo and it was like a different world from all the other online commerce they were doing. And this gentleman, great guy. I remember at one point he did a presentation for me, and he said, "Here's what I think you should do." And he showed me Reedsy. And he said, "Need to do this." And I went, "Oh my God, no, that's too much work." The cost, the commitment is like, no, let Reedsy help them make the book. We'll help them publish the book. We can't get into it's like a completely different business, right? And I think it's one of the reasons why, for example, you and Dan from Draft to Digital, often seen at the same conferences together. It's like, okay, we're going to help you make the book, market the book, whatever. We'll help you publish the book. And again, lots of free tools involved for both platforms. So you do work complementary with so many other partners out there, right?
Yeah, that's a great thing as well. It's that we don't see ourselves competing with most of other companies in the self-publishing space. And yeah, I think when we first initially pitched to investors, we probably had a slide or two about like launching a distribution arm, like doing the all-in-one solution, because that's how you dream when you start a company.
Yeah.
And then we realized, just like you did, how much work it is to actually take care of the distribution. And since then, we've been like, no, we're never going to do that. And other people have approached us, telling us, you should do this, you should do that. And like, there's some great companies doing distribution out there. And from talking to them, it is ton of work that people don't realize that's happening behind the scenes to handle distribution. We definitely don't want to get into that. So yeah, it's great to have kind of like, friend companies and friends from the industry. And you have this really supportive ecosystem. Like, I don't think there's a ton of industries out there where like you have such events as NINC or 20 Books Vegas or Publishing Show Live London, where everyone's kind of part of a big family, whether it's the vendors, the clients, the authors, publishers, etc.
Oh, awesome. Well, Ricardo, I've kept you for a long time, and I appreciate the time today. But before we go, I want you to first remind us where we can find Reedsy online. But after that, please share something that you're just most looking forward to about the future of our industry, because there's so much going on.
So you can find me on Reedsy, or reedsy.com. My email address is ricardo@reedsy.com. So very simple, and that's the best way to connect with me. Like, you can try to find me on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn and all that, but I check those places probably 100 times less than I check my email. So if you want to get in touch with me, always super happy to get emails from authors. Just drop me an email.
And also,
and
if people see you at a conference, you are very approachable, very friendly, not intimidating at all, open arms, ready to welcome people and chat with anyone, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Always happy to get people at conferences who come over and chat with us. Because it's true, as industry people, we usually don't go talk to authors that often unless we know them, obviously. But we're always available if authors want to come chat with us. So if you see me at a conference, just don't hesitate to come by and say hi.
Awesome. Cool. And there'll be a picture of Ricardo up on starkreflections.ca so you can recognize him when you see him at a conference, usually with really cool shorts. So, or at least that's at the beach in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. I don't wear those as much in Vegas or London, but in Florida I do.
Yeah, Florida, I'm gonna miss those funky shorts that you always wear. Anyways, okay. So, and then something that you're looking forward to or excited about the future of the industry.
It's a tough one. I'm excited about a lot of things that we have planned Reedsy-wise for the future. The future of the industry as a whole, I think there's a lot of talk about how it's going to change, with AI, with new technologies. And what I look forward to is actually the fact that the core of the business is going to stay the same, which is going to be telling stories and telling really great stories that readers want to read and be delighted by. We might have some changes in how these stories are produced. Like, some authors might enlist the help of like AI tools to help with research, brainstorming, whatever. We might have some changes into how they're made available to readers, direct sales, who knows, like blockchain, smart contracts in the future, etc. But I actually like that it's one of the industries that stays stable in terms of like its core elements, which is writing great stories and making them available to readers and creating this connection between the author and the reader. And anything that happens technology-wise will only help reinforce that.
I love how you boiled it down to that core element of reader and writer. Beautiful. Yeah. Ricardo, thanks again for hanging out with me today.
Thank you for having me on the podcast. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in Vegas this year.
You can achieve so much in just 3 months. You could learn to bake perfect croissant, knit a scarf of many colours, master a magic trick, or you could sit down and write your entire first novel. Whether you've got a folder full of notes or a new idea you want to explore, my new novel writing course will give you the support you need to write a book in just 3 months. I'm Tom Bromley, your instructor. My course is like an accelerated MFA program, complete with over 20 hours of masterclasses, weekly live sessions, and a community of writers striving towards the same goal. Join me and discover the magic of writing.